Have you noticed how many people believe that money solves everything? Well, that's one of the biggest lies ever told. Because deep down, absence can't be bought, and lost time never returns. Shocking, right? And that's exactly what makes this story so powerful. A millionaire, owner of everything money can buy, almost lost what money could never give back. While many think working harder equals love for the family, the truth is very different. For a child, each absence feels like abandonment. And it doesn't matter how many luxury trips, expensive gifts, or prestigious schools you offer. Nothing replaces a simple hug before bedtime. Race the counterintuitive part few dare to say, the so-called sacrifice for the good of the family, might actually destroy the family itself. What you're about to discover isn't just a story about a millionaire and his son, but a wake-up call showing how small choices can change everything. Get ready to be surprised, to reflect, and maybe even to feel moved. After all, this tale reveals a quick, life-changing reward: the awareness that presence is the real luxury of life. Solo arrived late, almost midnight, dragging the exhaustion of endless days. The apartment seemed like a safe refuge, but the silence surrounding him carried a different weight. It was as if each step echoed inside him, reminding him that his fortune couldn't shield him from emptiness. Anyone who has come home late, after a marathon of commitments, knows the only desire is a glass of water and some peace. But sometimes, that's exactly when life decides to surprise us. No sooner had he settled than Amelia, the longtime housekeeper, rushed toward him, firmly gesturing for silence. It wasn't a casual shoo, but a request filled with urgency. It was like when a friend looks into your eyes without a word, and you just know something serious is happening. Solo, used to negotiating millions in loud meetings, now found himself forced to negotiate with silence in his own home. Still puzzled, he obeyed. Sometimes the greatest power lies in hearing what is not said. The silence Amelia demanded carried a mystery he couldn't ignore. It was like when the phone rings at midnight. Before even answering, you sense something unusual is coming. Solo realized this wasn't about keeping the apartment quiet, but about protecting him from something yet to be revealed. Amelia, her face marked with dark circles and her voice trembling, finally explained the urgency. Alex, Solo's son, had been sleepwalking every night since his father's last trip. Imagine it, a child wandering aimlessly, calling for his dad while asleep. It was as if Solo's absence had become a ghost haunting the house, manifesting itself in the boy's most vulnerable hours. She explained it wasn't just a simple stroll around the living room. Alex, in the middle of the night, murmured his father's name and even cried, as if begging for a presence that never came. The weight of those words hit Solo hard. No investment, no million-dollar contract, could silence the cries of a son calling for his father in the night. Any parent knows, there's no alarm clock more painful than the silent call of a child longing for affection. In that moment, Solo realized the issue wasn't just medical or some odd episode of sleepwalking. It was the physical translation of his son's emotional emptiness. Like a heart writing invisible letters that only attentive eyes could read. And there was Amelia, not just a housekeeper anymore, but a faithful translator of a pain Solo had yet to fully grasp. With the wisdom of someone who's lived more than books can teach, Amelia delivered a truth that struck Solo like a silent slap. Children don't understand speeches, they understand presence. For Alex, his father's constant absence felt like abandonment. No matter how many gifts arrived wrapped in fancy paper, none replaced the warmth of a good night whispered at his bedside. It's like trying to feed someone by showing them pictures of food. It simply doesn't work. She explained that during his waking hours, Alex often asked about his father, but over time, he learned no answers were coming. That corroded his trust. A child doesn't think my dad is working for us. A child feels, my dad isn't here with me. And that difference is brutal. How many adults today still carry emotional wounds because, as kids, they learned too early to cope with the silence of someone who should have been there? Listening, Salo realized his greatest failure wasn't lost contracts or poorly planned trips, but the invisible, the memories he hadn't built. Deep down, true inheritance isn't properties, companies, or investment funds. It's the father cheering from the school bleachers, the family breakfast, the hug after a nightmare. And in that painful contrast, he began to understand he was about to lose something no money could ever restore. In that heavy silence, Salo began to face the mirror of his own life. He had built an empire, amassed wealth that would make any investor envious, but realized he had failed in what mattered most: emotional bonds. No bank balance can buy the memory of shared laughter at the dinner table. It's like spending years collecting racing trophies only to realize you forgot to run the most important marathon: family life. Amelia's words were simple yet precise, like those truths that don't need degrees to carry weight. She showed that a secure future for Alex, expensive schools, planned trips, top-notch healthcare, couldn't replace a present lived intensely. It's like giving someone a winning lottery ticket but hiding the prize until it's too late. The boy needed his father now, not promises tucked away for tomorrow. And this reasoning began to dismantle every justification Salo had always told himself. He used to say, "I'm doing this for him," but deep down, he was doing it to prove something to the world, forgetting the little world of Alex. And when that realization hit, it didn't come alone. It brought an ache in his chest, foreshadowing the scene that was about to unfold. Right in the middle of their conversation, when the atmosphere felt unbearable, the soft sound of dragging feet echoed in the hallway. It was Alex, sleepwalking again. But this time something different happened. Upon seeing his father's silhouette, his half-closed eyes lit up, and he ran straight into Salo's arms. It was a confused hug, part sleep, part emotion, but it held more power than any words. Sometimes the strongest language is spoken only through touch. The millionaire, used to shaking hands in million-dollar deals, realized he had never felt such value in a simple gesture. His son's embrace was like a renewed love contract, a silent reminder that the greatest signature you can ever make isn't on official paper but on the heart of someone you love. Many parents spend years chasing recognition outside, unaware that the loudest applause lives in their child's smile when they walk through the door. There, with tears in his eyes and a knot in his throat, Salo finally understood the value lost in every trip, every silent dinner, every absent night. It wasn't just a reunion with Alex. It was a reunion with himself, with the essence he had left behind. And although he didn't yet know how to change his entire routine, in that moment, he felt a new chapter was about to begin. Watching father and son embrace, Amelia stepped closer and shared something she had carried for years. She told of her own childhood, scarred by her mother's absence. She explained that as a child, she too longed for simple gestures: a meal cooked with care, a bedtime story, an "I'm here" whispered at the right time. It reinforced the idea that love isn't measured in material things, but in small gestures that may seem trivial yet change lives. She spoke with the natural wisdom of someone who learned firsthand that presence is the greatest gift. It doesn't matter the size of the house, the bank balance, or the car in the garage. What a child remembers are moments of care. Think about it. What's the last good memory of your own childhood that just came to mind? Chances are, it wasn't an expensive toy but maybe a simple outing, a family laugh, or even a Sunday dessert. This lesson struck Salo as a revelation. He began to realize that what he had dismissed as details was actually the core of his son's happiness. And Amelia's simple words carried more weight than any motivational talk or business seminar. After all, what's the point of conquering the world if, in the process, you lose the smile that matters most? That thought opened the door to something even greater: transformation. That very night, Solo made a decision more valuable than any contract he had ever signed. He chose to change. He canceled unmissable trips, began waking up earlier to have breakfast with Alex, and discovered that making a simple piece of toast could be worth more than dining at luxury restaurants. These small actions, once seen as wasted time, became his most profitable investments, only now in the market of affection. The millionaire realized he didn't need to become the perfect dad overnight, but to show up consistently. He learned that consistency, not grandeur, builds trust. It's like the gym: one intense workout a month won't change you. It's the daily habit that delivers results. Likewise, one trip to Disney can't make up 4 months of absence. It's the shared dinners, whispered goodnights, and spontaneous board games that build real bonds. And slowly, Solo watched his emotional empire being rebuilt. Alex smiled more, slept better, and even talked more with his father. It was as if the boy had finally received something that had always been his right: presence. And in Solo's heart, each laugh from Alex sounded like dividends no financial market could ever match. But this transformation wouldn't stop with him. It would also embrace Amelia in an unexpected way. Over time, Solo realized Amelia wasn't just the housekeeper keeping the home in order. She had become an essential part of the family, the silent presence who held Alex together when he needed it most. In gratitude, Solo decided to support her in an unprecedented way. He funded her children's education, helped fulfill her long-buried dreams, and gave her something rare in the corporate world: genuine recognition. This wasn't charity, but repayment for what he had already received. How many times had Amelia held things together when he was absent? How many nights had she traded her rest for the care of a boy who wasn't even her son? Solo understood that value doesn't lie only in money given, but in respect, belonging, and the acknowledgement of someone as part of the whole. And in this process, their relationship transformed. Amelia no longer felt valued just by her paycheck but also by the affection and trust that grew over time. Solo, in turn, discovered that great empires aren't built only with figures, but with loyal, dedicated people often invisible to the world. And at this point, the story was already leading to the most powerful message of all. Solo's story reveals a truth many prefer to ignore: professional success will never make up for emotional absence. Children don't need distant heroes who show up occasionally with expensive gifts. They need present parents, long hugs, and the comfort of knowing someone real is by their side when nightmares come. True greatness lives in that simplicity. The millionaire understood that no bright future can replace an intensely lived present. And this isn't just for parents, it applies to all relationships. Friends, couples, siblings. Think about it. What good are thousands of social media followers if, when you close your front door, there's no one to share a simple dinner with? Loneliness isn't measured in square footage, but in the distance between hearts that should be close. And here lies the lesson. Success matters, yes, but never at the cost of what truly counts. Time won't bring back missed hugs, nor replay forgotten birthdays. If you have kids, family, or loved ones, invest in them today. Because tomorrow, no matter how promising, might arrive too late. And with that clarity, Solo finally found what no money in the world could ever buy. Now tell me, what's the point of conquering the world if, when you come home, there's no one smiling at your arrival? This story shows that real wealth isn't in the bank, but in the bonds you cultivate daily. And hey, race the big provocation. Aren't you also trading presents for promises? Think about how many moments you've already let slip away believing that there's always time later. So I ask you, what will you do today to change that? Will you turn off your phone earlier? Invite your child for an unhurried dinner? Send a heartfelt message to someone missing your attention? Small actions create huge transformations, and only you can decide whether to stay on autopilot or take the wheel of your emotional life. If this reflection touched you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here you'll find more content that challenges your choices and inspires you to live better. Because in the end, it's not about being a millionaire in numbers, but a millionaire in moments that truly matter.